Well, weeks after a study came out that found toxic materials were present in popular brands of tampons and feminine hygiene products, we wanted to know more about the study and whether women should be concerned. News 5 senior reporter Megan Clorty spoke with state leaders about what can be done about it. She also heard from a physician about whether women need to protect themselves.
It may make some people uncomfortable to talk about tampons, but as menstruation affects about half the population, we wanted to see whether we should be concerned about these findings. The doctor I spoke with says 50 to 80% of women manage their periods with tampons, but it's still unclear how the metals found in these actually affect us. So we went to UC Health to speak with Dr. Danielle Frock-Welnack, who practices in obstetrics and gynecology.
I think my initial reaction was that this was an unfortunate finding. I feel like tampons are really important to most women and their quality of life. And when you take a product that is trusted and used by 50 to 80% of menstruating females, you're going to cause some discomfort and people are going to ask questions.
The study out of the University of California, Berkeley, published in Environment International, analyzed 60 samples of name brand tampons, including some made of organic cotton. Researchers found all of them contain trace amounts of metals like lead. Here's what they mean by trace amounts. Researchers found cadmium at 6.74 parts per billion, arsenic at 2.56 parts per billion, and lead at 120 parts per billion in the tampons. Here's what the U.S. Food and Drug Administration sets as the allowable limit for these metals. Researchers noted that tampons have 24 times as much lead as the limit for bottled water.
We blindly trust that things that we find on a grocery store shelf are safe. So supplements are no different than, say, our tampons. It's something that we put into our body, and we're not fully cognizant of everything that is added to those products.
I think that a lot of women would see this and go, what the hell, number one, but then also think about them personally, maybe challenges they've had, fertility challenge, whatever, endometriosis, whatever you might have been diagnosed with, and think maybe this is why. Do you think there's a little bit of a scare factor to this too? And what would you recommend if people are concerned?
I mean, I think that it's terrifying for a lot of women, and a lot of it comes from the unknowns. We don't know how significant these findings are. We may find that there is minimal absorption, and we can hopefully put this to rest, and women can continue to use tampons without concern of any negative outcomes. However, right now we don't know, and I can't say with certainty that there isn't harm being done by tampon use.
Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser's office is aware of the study and cannot confirm whether it's investigating or joining any other state investigations into the findings that could endanger consumers. They sent us this statement that says in part, quote, "We encourage Coloradans who think they have been harmed to file a report with our office at stopfraudcolorado.gov." Future research is planned to figure out how much metal are leaching out of these tampons and how much is being absorbed into our bodies. If you want to file a concern with the State Attorney General's office, you can find the link to do that on our website, KOAA.com. Megan Clorty, News 5.